This is my favorite piece. I suppose it's nostalgia. I remember picking those old English war annuals. They were sort of dying out when I was younger. And, you know, classic World War II escapades, I think can be quite alien to a lot of the American readers. They've not been exposed to a lot of this. You know, the somberness of it all, not quite as flashy and flamboyant as the American war comics.
Well, it was adapted from a photograph I had of a destroyer. I mean, basically, I just drew the destroyer from the photograph and then actually set it in the waves. I mean, obviously, the photograph wasn't taken in such conditions. It was just a matter of constructing a sea that actually looked realistic and with a sort of convenient shadow and sky to make it look actionful and also very atmospheric and grim. I mean, especially grim because it was the ship is covered in ice. It's in the Western Atlantic during the Second World War, and it had to look as it does, which is sort of like strong and dramatic and foreboding, because it's a very bleak story at the end of the day. A story called Nightingale in a series called War Stories from DC Comics, written by the great Garth Ennis. And so that's a story behind that. But it was the first page of the story, and well, it is very strong.
A lot of fans have walked into this gallery and said if they knew the prices were, you know, affordable for fans, they would have saved up and bought the whole lot. Quite a few people have said that. I think a lot of people out there think they can only obtain your work for tens of thousands of pounds. I don't know if you want to elaborate on this, but could you tell us about the pricing?
The reasoning is really that you do want them to be affordable. I think that's important. I mean, it's no good putting up pictures that people can't afford to buy. And I think, you know, it's a gallery's choice, the prices to a large degree, but I think they're realistic within within the level of people's pockets, and I think it's important. I mean, if people like what you do, then I want them to have it in their homes.
What I also like about this picture, the way you've drawn the water. This is very specific to you. It seems to be alive. You know, look at this over here. It seems to curve round and come back. A lot of your fluids that I've seen seems to have this quality. It's a marker. It separates you from a lot of other artists.
Well, there's a reason for that, and that is that I was actually quite intimidated by the prospect of actually drawing the sea. I mean, when I started this story, because I haven't drawn a lot of seascapes. And the sea is it has its particular qualities. But I thought that the best thing to do was really to make the sea bend to my wishes rather than spend hours studying the actual qualities of seawater. Because even if I had copied them perfectly, as an artist, it's my job to extend reality, not simply copy it. So, I mean, I just wanted the water to be threatening when it needed to be threatening and have the qualities of real water when that was essential, and other times to draw it as if it was alive. And so that's what I did. Sometimes it's successful, sometimes it isn't, but I think in the main it worked.
I think it's one of your markers that's I don't see anybody else doing that, you know, that expressing fluids like that, as well as your faces and, you know, your lights and darks.
Well, I think you can. There are a couple of artists I know that have stylistically used water in in imaginative ways. I mean, one of them is Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko had a very interesting way of dealing with water. And also an artist called John M. Burns, who's one of my great influences. In a newspaper strip, I remember he drew water, black, solidly black, as if it was and he actually used it as a sort of design element, which was quite extraordinary. He chose those qualities of water which suited him, and ignored the rest.
Right.
Which again is, I mean, similar to what I've tried to do. At the end of the day, the art is the most important element, as long as it doesn't detract from the authenticity of what you're depicting, or more accurately, the true effect of what you're depicting. It mustn't distract from the reality of things, but you can embellish the reality of things.
Okay, we'll end it here, I think. Also, a great thanks to the proprietor of the New End Gallery in Hampstead, North London. Let's go.
Well, they must like you. Just what about those up there? Oh, no.
Yeah, so start.
Who does?
Bring on summer.
I was in Phoenix a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
In Arizona, and that was lovely. But apparently that's getting cold now.
Don't like it.
Thank you.